Hello and welcome back to part 6 of our Muay Thai kickboxing drills and techniques. Today I'd like to talk to you about another important technique, important punch, and that's uppercut. Alright, last time we talked about hook, we've gone over jab, we've gone over punch. Now we talk about another important technique, that's uppercut. Alright, I'm going to show you how to do a proper uppercut. Alright, now in Muay Thai, in kickboxing, and also boxing, the uppercut can happen from close range. It can also happen from far range. All right, and I'll show you the difference. The difference is in the angle of your arm. Okay, I'll get into that again shortly while I'm teaching you the uppercut. All right, so for the uppercut, we go back into our fighting stance. And when we are in our fighting stance, we do the same thing we did for hook. We're gonna work on these rotations, make sure our body is ready, all warmed up. And what we're going to do is we're going to rotate the right shoulder, right hip, right foot again. All right, so we do this exercise when we're practicing our hook. Now we're going to do it again for throwing our uppercut. We're going to keep our right hand up, and what we're going to do this time is we're going to, instead of the arm going forward getting ready to throw that hook, we're going to kind of drop it slightly down. Now, I've seen a lot of people when they're throwing their uppercut, they go here and they drop the hand all the way back here. What this will do is will create an opening here for you to get hit from either a right hand, right kick, a right hook, something can come towards you here. You don't want to do that opening. Okay, so you go here, slightly bend the knees, arm down, and it comes up straight. Fist here, palm facing you. Again, you want to hit with the first two knuckles. You go up, and you come back in position. Again, you rotate, arm down, up, and back into this rotation. Whenever I teach an uppercut, I always use an example as if you're turning here, your arm going up. Imagine you want to grab something and pull it back. So you want to add that snap. Okay, this snap helps you with a lot of power. Okay, same as the punch. When you're throwing your punch, you snap it back. When you throw your hook, snap it back. You throw your jab, snap it back. Same thing with the uppercut. You go here, snap, 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 snap. Okay, so make sure you do this for tons of times. Okay, it has to happen like this for every single technique that you learn. You have to practice it so much that you don't have to think about those little things. Because we all make mistakes and we always create openings, and one of the most important things about throwing your punches is the other arm. Okay, so when you're practicing your left uppercut, left hook, or if you're a southpaw the other way, always make sure the opposite hand is always up. Okay, a lot of people have this, create this bad habit. So when they're throwing their punches, they kind of, their arms go almost into like a pendulum motion. So if they're throwing an uppercut, they go like this. Right arm drops. Or if they're throwing a jab, right arm drops. If throwing the right hand, left arm drops. Throwing the hook, arm drops. This is not good at all for your defense. So when you want to have a good defense, you got to make sure your opposite arm is always up. Not only for that, also for a follow-up technique. So if I want to throw a punch after my uppercut, I got to make sure my right arm is here in order for it to follow up. If I go down here, I want to follow up, it's not going to be as effective as if it's effective only if it comes from here. All right, so it's very important to keep that opposite arm up at all times. All right, now we go into the difference between a short uppercut, short distance uppercut, and a long distance uppercut. All right, okay, so if I'm close to my target here, I want to bend, my arm goes up, and snaps back, okay? But if I'm further away from the target, but I still want to throw an uppercut, what I want to do is I don't want to bend my knees too much. All I do is I do that rotation and my arm goes forward like this. It's basically almost like a jab, but going this way, okay? So you have to keep your arm always in an angle like this. Even when you're throwing your uppercut, you want to make sure your arm is always in an angle. It's not going straight up or going towards your own face. All right? So make sure it's always in an angle. This is close range, for a range. All right. For the other difference for the further range is also make sure you don't bend your knees as much. Close range, you want to bend and come up with a lot of power. Far range, you just want to throw like this, so we can do a follow-up punch after that uppercut. Okay. Later on, for our later videos, you're going to see me doing these drills with a partner and on pads, and this is just for you to, just an introductory techniques for you to start practicing and get good at those techniques. All right. Make sure again you practice these techniques a lot. Listen to those little details that I talked about, not creating an opening, and also make sure the opposite arm is always up. Because when you're practicing, you also want to always think about your defense as well. So make sure your defense is really good. Again, thanks for joining us today. I'd like to thank our sponsors, KimuraWear.com and Tap Account, and we'll see you next time.